So, Len, you all set to go?
I'm all ready.
You ready to do
Let's
this?
do it.
All right, let's do it. Hey, everybody. Welcome to a late edition of Behind the Brand. We are in the midst of COVID, in the midst of a rainstorm, and I'm hoping that the roof doesn't fall in over us because it's a lot of water up there. But at any rate, this is Dave at DirectLine Media, and this podcast is brought to you by our famous 60-second video. That's a one-price flat-rate video package. Of course, that's marketing video made simple. And today we have with us Len Diana. What's happening, Len?
How you doing, Dave?
Good. This is cool. So thanks
It
for
is
coming.
cool.
Thanks for coming last minute.
Thanks for having me.
This is super last minute. We were chatting a little bit yesterday, and I said, "Hey, you want to do a podcast?" And you're like, "Yeah." So
Absolutely.
So this is good. So what have you been doing? Just jumping right in. What have you been doing the past? What is it? Let's see. I got a call. I was looking at it this morning, and it's been since I got off the plane from Louisiana on March 9th. And when I landed, I got a bunch of emails and phone messages saying that all my jobs for March and April have been canceled. So for me, that's when it started. So it's been about 5 weeks.
Yeah. April, March, May, June, July.
Yeah. Crazy, right?
Yeah.
Is it going to stop?
So what I've been doing, I've been keeping busy actually, which is kind of nice. I've been obviously not doing hands-on Reiki as what I usually do, which is unfortunate. But I do offer, and am still offering, distance Reiki. So that's out and available. So I'm available for that.
How do you do distance Reiki?
How do I do that?
Yeah.
It's much like I treat it like praying. Like when somebody prays for somebody, they're sending out healing energy for that person, no matter where they are. Even if it's across the country or across the world, next door. So it's much like praying. That's how I explain what it is. But what do I do? Is if it's a scheduled appointment and they want to set some time, like a half hour, an hour or so, what I'll do is I have their picture because that helps to know who they are or where they are. And I have a set of crystals which I line up to their chakras. And
How do you line them up with their chakras if they're not there?
I line up, everybody's got the same chakras in the same place. So my chakra crystals are the same color as, so I put the green one where the heart is, and then I put, the yellow one where the stomach is, and what have you. So I put them in a line in an order going down. And then I Reiki as I normally would, hands-on for the most part, without somebody being there. At least I have the picture there, and then I've got the crystals as their body. Some people will use a doll. Some people will use a stick figure. Everybody does it differently, but that's how I do it. If it's not a scheduled appointment, usually I just do it at bedtime when I'm doing my meditation. I'll send out Reiki energy in that direction as well.
Can you do multiple people, like a
Yeah.
like a ball of Reiki energy?
I can, and I do.
Yeah.
Especially now with COVID, since since it's been going on, many of us will send out a global energy that goes out to the world. I use this meditation that does that for us. That helps me with it. So it helps me direct energy to where it needs to go.
Yeah, I like it. So do you do it on you said some people use dolls and stick figures. Do you I know you have like a table, I guess like a massage type table, right? Is what
Correct.
you use. Is that what you still use if you're doing distance Reiki?
No, I can, but I don't have it set up. So
Okay.
I use a table that I have at home.
Oh, okay. All right. But you do use some sort of a table.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Interesting.
Yeah.
How did I was reading a little bit, following up a little bit. I know a little bit about your past just because we've known each other for a little while. But I was, looking at your website. You were in a different something completely different, still helping people, but differently. And you didn't have a full-on breakdown. I think you avoided that, which is cool, according to your
Close to
bio.
it.
Yeah. And you Is Reiki something you were thinking about, like, I want to do Reiki, or did you just experience it with somebody and that led you to investigate it more?
Yeah, I was a client first, because as you were kind of kindly noting, um, I hated at that time, I was working as an ophthalmic assistant, and it's been 20 years. And over the last 5 years or so, I was getting very stressed out, hated my job. No matter who I worked for, it was just the same old, same old. And it was just getting stressful because times were changing and what have you. And I was finding myself going into work with stress-related chest pains. And when you're in your late 30s, early 40s, that's kind of too young for that,
way too young.
To do that. So I wanted to take my health into my own hands. And one of my coworkers was a Reiki practitioner, so I was asking her about it because I had no idea what it was. And so I had a session or two with her. I noticed that it was helping me out with my stress. It was helping me out with my negative disposition at that point. And then I started going every 3 weeks for a good 2-3 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Explain if somebody were to go in to get a Reiki session. Sort of run us through what happens.
Sure.
Because I don't think a lot of people know. I'm still a little bit
Yeah, I
vague
know.
on
A
it.
lot of people don't know.
Yeah, so why don't you run us through
Yeah.
that a little bit?
So first I have them come in and sign, not really a waiver, but something that tells me about them. It's got their name, address, what medications they're, why they're there is the most important. That's really the most what I look at. Is their intention, like why are they there? What do they need done, or what do they want done? Is it health related issue? Is it mental, emotional? What is it? So that's the main thing that I look at. Because that gives me, when I do my setup or when I call in the energy to me, that's one thing that I always ask for is their intention. So energy knows where to go for the most part, and it knows where to go anyway. But so I do. I've got that, and I find out more about them, and then they get on the table. They're fully clothed, comfortable. Whatever they're wearing is fine. Have them take their shoes off, get on the table, get nice and relaxed. I have them go to their happy place. So what do I mean by that? I want them to go somewhere where they're comfortable, where they love being at, whether it's on the beach in the sun, sitting in front of the fireplace with a glass of wine or a cup of hot chocolate, whatever makes them happy, whatever puts them in a good place. Nice. I ask them to think healthy thoughts, healthy thoughts, positive thoughts, just somewhere where you're in a good energy space, because that's what increases the healing process.
Do you get people that come in that have a really hard time getting to a happy place because they're, for whatever reason?
Usually not.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah, usually not, which is kind of good because everybody always has something good going on, or where they want to be.
Yeah.
Sometimes they have a hard time relaxing, but that's okay. Usually they'll end up falling asleep after a little time, which is kind of nice. And so when I hear snoring, I kind of take it as a compliment because I know that they're trusting me and they're just so nice, relaxed, and it's like, yeah, just whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So
they get to their happy place,
yes.
and there comes a point where you start
right.
the Reiki session.
Correct.
Tell us about that.
Right. So I have the energy come through me. Then I start at the head because I want the energy to transfer to me through to my client, which is actually the real healer, through the crown chakra, which is the top of the head. So I'm there for about 3, 4, 5 minutes, depending. Then I start down one side of the body with hand placements. Then I start down the other side of the body with hand placements. I have them turn over. And again, I start at the head, start down one side of the body, start down the other side of the body. And I end with their feet.
Okay. And you're pulling energy from the universe, right, to help heal
Correct.
them. So
yes.
Explain to us, like, where's that energy come from? How do you harness it? How do you get it into their body? Is it something they already have access to and you're just sort of opening up that gateway kind of thing? Is that kind of what it is? Am I way off base?
No, kind of, sort of. The energy comes, well, first, energy is everything. So really, like this desk is energy. Our thoughts are energy. Our emotions are energy. So whatever is out there is energy. You know, it takes the different formation, but everything is energy. So that's why some people are sensitive. If they could see if somebody's having a bad day, you don't have to say anything. You could just tell just by the way they're feeling and the way they're emoting themselves. So that's really the beginning part is the energy. So what I do is pull the energy from the universe and through Mother Earth down below, because I want it coming in from both ends. And it's not, I say universe, it could be God, it could be Buddha, it could be whatever your creator is, even if you don't have one. There's always something out there that pulls into me. So I basically just invite it. I ask it to come through me. I use energy guides, Reiki guides with me that help me work with my clients as well.
How many Reiki practitioners are there in the state? I mean, I don't think I heard about
Several.
Reiki probably before I met you. I didn't know. So what are we going back 6-7 years, something like that? Like I may have heard about it, but not. So there's several.
Yeah, there's several.
Yeah.
I'd probably say, I don't know, 50 or more.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this something that you find? Obviously, it's becoming more popular, I guess. And
Right.
is it something that is becoming more popular because people are being aware of it, or is it becoming popular because people want to be more in control of their own body?
I think it's both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's both. And that's one of my main things is get it out there more. I'd like to have it out in the mainstream because that's my goal is to get holistic services in general out into the mainstream so more people know about it.
And this isn't a new thing. I mean, Reiki
It's
probably
not
goes
new.
back, what, eons, right?
1920, somewhere around there.
Oh, 1920, okay.
Yeah,
Something
but
like
healing energies has been around for thousands of years.
that. Okay, sure.
You know, it may not be called Reiki, but there's different types of healing energies, and Reiki is just one of them.
What's Reiki based off of? Like, who kind of came up with it? What was it? Was there sort of like a group that sort of did something similar? Do you have any history about that? That's kind of
Yeah.
curious because it's 1920. I thought it'd be older than that.
Yeah. Well, there's a dude named Dr. Sui out in Japan who was he was a healer. So he was going across the desert or whatever he was doing, healing people, and all of a sudden, this energy came upon him, and he got visions and what have you. So that's really how it started, just by him helping people in general. And then the universe opened up to him and gave him the powers. Really, is what happened.
And the stones that you use with the chakras, that's ancient, right? That goes back.
Yeah.
Yeah, that goes back. So how did he incorporate that? Or is that sort of over time that the chakras became incorporated into Reiki?
I believe he was more hands-on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I know you carry around
I do.
the crystals with you.
I
Yeah,
do.
that's very cool. Yeah, do you use your crystals every day? I mean, are they there for work stuff in case you have a job, or is it more of like that's who you are? These crystals are part of what your person is, what your being is.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Convoluted question.
Yeah, no, that's what it is. I always have them with me. It's like, don't leave home without them. And it's just there for, I guess you could say, maintaining my health. Because each crystal that I have has their own property, their healing property.
Yeah. I think it's fascinating. The more, I mean, we're in this lockdown, right? And I think it's fascinating. The more and more diseases and flus and all these viruses come into the world, I think the more important it is to really to not rely on modern medicine so much, but really rely on your own, well-being, eating right, getting proper sun, getting proper exercise. I think that's job one. And,
Right.
and I think mentally too, just being able to, purge every once in a while and let your mind rest, I think does
Purge.
wonders, right? I don't know, right? Is that the wrong word? But you know what I mean? Like,
No, yeah, I know what you mean.
you gotta empty every once in a while. You can't be on, 24/7. That's not healthy. And I think that's where you ended up in your last career. I think it was too much, and you didn't have that chance to it wasn't there. It was
Right.
it was constant, and you can't do that. And I think listening to your body too is important. I've always tried to listen to my body and know what it's trying to tell me, and then focus on that and see what it is, and and I don't want to say try to fix it myself, but
Well, you are,
you know,
because your body knows how to heal itself. So if you give it a chance, that's what it does.
you know,
Yeah, I mean, everything going on with the COVID, you really hit the nail on the head. Because my main stance on this is building up your immunity is number one. So that's what I've been doing. My immunity has been pretty good to begin with, but once COVID started coming around, I started doing more. I started eating better. I've been taking on a healthy eating plan. More veggies, more fruits, less meat proteins, even though I love my meat proteins.
yeah,
Less alcohol, but I do have glasses of wine during the weekend.
yeah,
I mean, it's
yeah,
a treat.
yeah, of course. It is.
And so I do that. I have got supplements and vitamins that I use, and I've upped that to keep up my immune. And that's really probably the most important thing is positivity and not letting whatever is around get to you. I don't watch the news, at least I try not to. So anytime I hear coronavirus or anything like that, or death or anything like that, I just turn it off because it makes me sick to my stomach.
Yeah.
And that kind of wears down on the immune system as well.
I think it because it enacts your fear sense, right? I mean,
Right.
now you have all this fear. People are scared. You can't blame them, but you got to control that. And I think turn on the news. Like I'll do it. I'll turn on the news, or I'll look at the headlines for a few minutes in the morning, and then I'm done. Like
Right.
I'm not sitting there in front of the TV for hours. It's just not healthy. And I think fear has a lot to do with it. If you can, I think being concerned and being safe and being using common sense will go a lot farther than being scared and being a hermit in your house. I know we're not supposed to leave, and I'm staying. Well, I'm staying home a lot more
Yeah,
than
I
I
am
did.
too.
But
I am too.
but I think you follow those rules of good hygiene and washing your hands and not being gross. I think that goes a long way, for sure. Yeah, as
Absolutely.
we're about, what are we, about 8 feet apart? I think something like that.
Yeah, probably.
Maybe something like that. So that's good to set that up special today.
Yeah.
8 feet apart. You do more than just Reiki, though. You help folks with you help entrepreneurs really find. How can I put this in my own words? Work at 300%, right?
Yes.
So what's your
Yes.
mantra? How do you help? Is that related to your Reiki services? Is it sort of it's got to be connected, right? It's got to be the same mindset. You helping a person with Reiki, and then you helping a person become the most they can be as an entrepreneur.
Right. It is similar. Yes. That's more of a coaching thing that I help people with. There's actually two types of coaching, and one of them I'm starting to bring out more now because of COVID, and there's 6+ million people that are unemployed now. So one program that I use that I developed myself is called Do What You Love. How convenient. And it's helping people who've either been laid off, who hate their job, not happy with their job, or people who just want to go out on their own and do what they want to do. I help them go through that, help them find what they want to do, what they would enjoy doing. So that's a program that I'm promoting now more recently because of what's been going on. And the one that you are probably talking about more is the Tapping into Wealth program, where I help out small businesses small business people who are kind of in that stagnant kind of position, status quo, things aren't going so great for them. They're trying to figure out why. A lot of it has to do with negative paradigms from the past, and from what's going on. A lot of times their friends and family members will say, like, why are you doing this? It's not going to work for you, blah, blah, blah. That kind of takes a toll on you. So I help them get inspired again, get them motivated again. I use tapping, which is an emotional freedom technique, to help them get rid of all that negative paradigm. And it just opens them up to their brilliance.
Yeah, I think it's important. You touched on other people's comments, why are you doing that? That's crazy. It's never going to work. It's that kind of stuff, right? Like
Right.
working through all of that, having confidence in yourself to believe in what you're doing is going to work, and moving forward with it and acknowledging, yeah, okay, well, you think I'm nuts. Well, that's fine, man, because I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing.
Right.
I think that's really important. So tapping, explain that a little bit more.
Sure. What you're doing is really acupressure is what it is. So you're tapping on certain parts of your body. Usually it's in the facial area. But if there's like some serious like depression or anxiety that's really, really serious, there's other parts on the body that you could tap on. And it literally takes maybe 5-10 minutes, depending on how many times you pass through. So the main points that you tap on is top of the head, inner eye, outer eye, under the nose, under the bottom lip, your collarbone, and under your arm. And then you just repeat. Yeah.
I was doing a video for a group of folks that used to be involved with, and this woman also did Reiki, and she was demonstrating. Her patient was sitting in a chair, and she was doing her Reiki, and then she tapped on top of her head, I think. Is that similar to what you're talking about as well?
I'm not sure.
I think so. This goes back a few years.
It could be.
Yeah.
It could be.
Yeah. I just wonder if that was sort of
Yeah.
same kind of
It could be.
energy.
And what's
that you're
good
trying to
about
connect
this
to.
is that it's easy to teach somebody how to do it, because usually it's not a one-to-one physical meeting. Usually I'll do the coaching either online or through Zoom or through Skype or something. And, and they have the diagram of where to tap, and they know where to tap at that point. So, most times you have a script. So they use that script as well.
Okay, gotcha. Oh, good stuff. Yeah, and I could see. It's funny. I think I brought this up with somebody else. There's so many coaches today, which I was like, why are there so many coaches today? And I got to because there's so many entrepreneurs. There's so many people that are starting their own business. I think, I'm one of them. You're one of them. You're in this day-to-day job, and you said it. You're like, I was tired of making this guy rich when I'm barely getting by, and you kind of like what you do, but it got to a point where it wasn't enjoyable anymore. I loved what I did at my job, but it wasn't. I didn't enjoy it anymore. It wasn't what I wanted to do. So I started this business, and it seems like you did the same thing. And so there's a need for, because you may be really good at what you do, but then if you try to start a business, like it's a whole different world. It's not like you're going to be doing what you do all the time. So I think offering services of business coaching, I think, is really valuable for a lot of people to kind of just get that mindset. Sometimes it doesn't take a lot, just to get that mindset.
Right.
Do you find that?
Yeah,
that's all people
I
need?
agree, because that's really what I went through and still going through it.
Yeah, never changes, right?
Yeah, I mean, especially now, it's like you've got to be resourceful right now. So actually, doing this right now is part of being resourceful. So thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, you bet. No, I'm glad you can.
So
make
this is
it.
really kind of cool.
Yeah.
Because it's something out of the ordinary for me. and it's doing something different because now I get to promote this as well.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. No,
but
definitely.
yeah, it's you and with COVID going around the past month or two and going into the next month or so, um, gotta find something that will work for you instead of just sitting home,
Drinking beer.
drink
Yeah.
beer, watch TV,
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
through Netflix,
Yeah.
and just wallow life away. Just
Yeah, my wife and I, were like, what are we doing? So I'm trying to do business as usual as best I can. So I come to the office a couple times a week, and I still have a couple projects ongoing, nothing big, but a few things here and there. And I said, we're going to take this time and work on the house. I'm just not going to sit and wait for it to end. And I do feel that I don't know what's going to be different, but I think there's going to be a lot of things different about the way people interact, about how we do business. It's just a wait and see kind of thing, how that's all going to turn out, and how I think it all depends on how we're going to come out of this too. Like, how do we go back to work? Do we just like all of a sudden go back to work?
right. No, yeah, I know.
Weird.
And then going back to meetings and stuff. I mean, I was on the go almost every day, going to
Yeah.
one meeting or another.
Yeah.
And now it's like, sure, you're doing it on Zoom or something like that, but it's really not the same.
It's not the same.
So-
I did a few of these on Zoom, and it's just not the same.
No.
It works, but this is just so much better.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
face to face.
And
It's
I got
like-
to get out. Woo!
Yeah, and you get to get out, and I get to interrupt people more if it's face to face. It's hard to interrupt on Zoom. Anyway, so this is called Behind the Brand, and I like your logo. I like your branding for an infinite abundance. Why not just infinite abundance? You call your business an infinite abundance. Why did you tack on the "an"?
Well, it used to be. Actually, it used to be a lot longer, and I cut it back a bit. It used to be an infinite abundance of wealth, health, and happiness.
I
But it was-
I remember that.
Yeah. So it was too long. People were complaining, and what have you.
Yeah.
And so I just cut it back to an infinite abundance. And I think infinite abundance is another company.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you have an infinite abundance.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
How'd you come up with the, it's the infinity thing, right?
Right.
Yeah, with the different, I guess you have different colors in there. I can't remember offhand. But yeah, no, it's cool, an infinite abundance. And I guess it's fitting, right? Because, well, why don't you tell us, what was the meaning behind that? Like, what drove you to that name, that brand?
That name, that brand. Well, infinite is really everything. That's why there's, it's like a ring. There's no break in it, and it just continues going on. An infinity sign. So really, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And then the wealth, health, and happiness part is 100% of each. That's where my tagline comes along. Living life at 300%.
Oh, that's where you came with. Okay,
Yes.
all right.
Wealth,
It
health,
wasn't
and
just
happiness.
pulling 300% out of
No,
the
no,
air.
no,
It
no. So it's
actually came-
100% of wealth, 100% of health, and 100% of happiness.
Oh, that's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
I like
and
that.
And what's great about the words abundance and wealth, it's not necessarily monetary. You can have abundance of rain,
Yeah,
like
today.
we have
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
So you can have abundance of whatever. So it doesn't have to be monetary. And same thing with wealth. Wealth isn't just a monetary amount.
No, it's not.
So,
Yeah, being rich isn't
Right.
necessarily monetary.
right. And there's a lot of rich people who aren't happy.
There is a ton of rich people that aren't happy.
They have all they have, but they're not happy with it.
Yeah, like people, come up with the term like, oh, that's a really good job. You're gonna make some good money, But thinking about it, like even the term like, oh, he's making really good money, even that's relative.
Right.
Like you could be happy making what somebody else would consider, not nearly enough to survive on, and just be happy. Totally everything's paid for. Your housing, your food, your money in the bank. So yeah, so you're making a good living at that point.
Right. Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I wonder if that's one thing that's going to change is it probably won't. our extreme addiction to money in this country.
Yeah, no.
And, right? You don't think that's going to change?
No.
You think we're going to go back to just as it was in that regard? I think
Yeah,
so.
I think so. And I'm going to get a little political here.
Do it.
No, I am, because it really bothers me. The government wants to, and it's going on. You can tell by what's going on with Bill Gates getting mixed in with the COVID. They want to keep control of the monies. The elite want to. So this is just another way of them doing that. So they and that's why they keep the media and all that stuff. That's why everything is so negative, because they want to keep people dumbed down. That's why they're changing the education system than when we used to go to school, because they want to keep people dumbed down.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's their motivation, is to keep people dumbed down, to keep them less than wealthy monetarily.
Yeah, you can sort of see the writing on the wall, like that we could come out of this and the government's going to be able to track you.
Oh yeah.
You know, they're going to be able to do this, and I think that's a scary thing. I mean, we're free in this country, but with that freedom comes a lot of anguish and grief and sadness, because you know, you're kind of on your own, and I think. I mean, if you think about it, we're really not on our own. If we need help, the United States government is there to help us for sure. You know, it always has been. But I think we really need to not, if there's a crisis, you know, look to our government for a solution. I don't think that's really going down the right road.
No.
And blame them when things don't go right.
Right.
You know.
I agree.
So I think, yeah, we have to be very careful about what sort of provisions or laws or whatever are going to be passed under the guise of, you know, keeping the American people safe.
Right.
Right?
Right. And a lot of it
Yeah.
could be down to where you have no control of your body
Yeah.
as well.
That's the scariest part.
Yeah.
That's the scariest part. Where I think, you know, I guess since we're going down this road, you know, big oil, right, was seemed to be to rule everything. Now I feel it's almost like big pharma is now taking control of everybody in the country, in the world for that matter.
Right.
And that's scary because they're directly involved with your body and with coercing not coercing, that's the wrong word. Advertising to doctors to use a certain medication or what have you. I think a little bit has changed now, but you know, I still think it's there. So
Right.
we
Well,
gotta
you're
be careful.
seeing that clearly with COVID. You know, Trump promotes chloroquine, and then you've got Dr. Fauci and Dr. Bricks, I think her name is,
Bricks,
who
yeah.
is all about vaccinations, and you know, you got to wait till the vaccination, blah blah blah. So again, and both of those are big pharma related.
Mhm.
So,
But the hydrochloroquine, that's what you're talking about, right?
yes.
Now that, I don't know too much about it, but I have read a couple articles or headlines or what have you that has had positive effects on
It has.
on either curing or preventing COVID.
Yeah, it does, because you're only using it for a short amount of time, only like 5 or 6 days that you're using it, and it has helped in those quite quickly as well.
Why don't we, first of all, do you know what that drug is?
I do. When I was
Tell me
working in
about it.
ophthalmology, it's Plaquenil, and
I don't know what that is.
yeah, some people who have certain type of autoimmune disorder will go on it, and long term, it's not healthy for you. It has pretty damaging side effects, like most medications do, like all medications do.
Sure. Yeah, they do.
Long term, but short term for 5 or 6 days, it's apparently working very well for that, and I'll see what happens from there. But vaccinations don't work.
Yeah, vaccinations?
Yeah. No.
Yeah, no. So why do you think that this drug isn't being distributed? How come we're not using it? Because we have plenty of it, apparently.
Yeah. Because again, you've got a small group that's promoting it, then you've got other people that are saying, "No, this is better," or "Let's do it this way," Like Trump and his gang are promoting hydrochloroquine, whereas Dr. Fauci and Briggs are promoting vaccines. So they kind of like butting heads, and at the same time they're on the same team, but they're also opposite of each other.
Don't you think some of what we do should be up to the doctors in the field working in the front lines, being like, hey, listen, we've used this and this works. We've used this and this doesn't work.
Yeah, and you have to be careful with that too, because the doctors are using protocols for another disease disorder, respiratory disease disorder. Putting people on ventilators. That's the big thing. And what they're finding out is that 80 to 90% of the people going on ventilators are actually dying because the ventilators are doing too much, and it's not helping the breathing. It's making it worse. But they're finding just regular nasal O2 oxygen is helping that, and there's a few doctors that are promoting that and helping that.
Yeah, I can't pretend to know everything going on with that, but I do read some of the articles that you've posted on social and some of the things I've found myself. And that's, why would a doctor put somebody on a ventilator? 80 to 90%?
Yeah.
Yeah. Now,
Yeah. In New York City.
when would
Yeah.
somebody want to go on a ventilator? Obviously, because they can't breathe, right?
Right.
So, I mean, neither of us are doctors, right? But I'm thinking, if you walk into a doctor's office and you can talk to the doctor and walk around, my guess is that you wouldn't need to be on a ventilator. Are those the folks being put on ventilators, or
Yes.
are they really
No,
in
no,
bad
they
shape?
are. They are. And that's one thing that they're saying, that these people shouldn't be on a ventilator because they're able to breathe on their own.
Mm-hmm.
They're just having a hard time breathing. They're usually the people who are on ventilators are very sick. They have they can't talk. They have their mind is elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And those are people that need to be on ventilators.
Or
People
they're,
who
or they're
are
undergoing an operation, right? Would that be a good candidate? You have like a serious operation where you have to shut down their system?
probably,
They'd probably want to be on a ventilator.
yeah,
I guess. I don't know.
right, exactly.
Again, I'm not a doctor. I have no
Right,
idea.
right.
But that seems like a pretty
and a lot
bad
of these
statistic.
people, a lot of the people who should be on ventilators are the ones who can't breathe on their own. Whereas the people with COVID can breathe on their own, they're just having a hard time doing it because the way COVID attacks their lungs,
Yeah.
their respiratory
No,
system.
it's a scary thing. I'm not. Yeah, it's really.
And again, I'm not a doctor, so
Yeah.
this is all hearsay and
This is
the
all
research.
hearsay and some research, and I guess the biggest thing I think that we need to do as a society, right, is to do that research and look at different articles, look at different points of view, right? Listen to what Fox News is saying, listen to what MSNBC is saying, listen to what Trump and Fauci, and then go on and see what some other experts are saying in their field, what their opinions are,
Right.
and kind of put all that stuff together and to do your own research through the CDC and the WHO and kind of put all those things together and come up with your own conclusion. I think turning on the TV, listening to a speech and taking that as gospel, I think that's really, what is that? Is that lazy? I don't know.
Right.
It's just, I think, and the technology we have, everybody has a computer pretty much. It's really not hard to Google some things and get charts and all sorts of stuff to see what's
Right.
really going on out there. And I think people need to take, just like taking responsibility for your body, right? Taking responsibility for the news that you the information that you get into your home, right?
Exactly.
There's just so many different outlets, NBC doesn't have to be the end all be all.
No.
So anyway, I don't want to get too far off
Yeah.
into the COVID-19, right, political fiasco. I don't think I want to go down that road too much. I do want to talk a little bit to you about what are your, actually, what's this question? Has anybody reached out to you in this past month, really being sort of stressed out from the current events? Have you had any people saying, hey, Len, I'm a mess, help me out?
Not per se. I've known a few people who have come down with COVID. Or actually, no, yes. One of my colleagues, her and her parents are just having a hard time dealing with all of this. Her parents are not in the healthiest condition, and so they're worried and having a hard time with what's going on. And it's playing a big part in her because she's trying to take care of them at the same time. And she's awfully busy with her business and her work. And so, so I do my best to send them healing when I can and when I do.
Are you going to change the way you do business when we're, out of lockdown? Is it too early to tell?
It's too early to. I think everybody's going to be changing something somewhere down the road. I'm dying to get back into the physical, the hands-on. So I'll be obviously promoting that more. And I think what's really helping me in this way is before COVID, I wasn't really promoting distance Reiki because it's too woo-woo and people they have a hard time figuring out what Reiki is, let alone
Distance Reiki, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah, let alone distance Reiki. Is like, what do you mean you could help me from, across the world?
And you don't even need to talk to be on the phone or anything,
No.
right? It's just,
No.
do they have to know the time you're doing it?
No.
You're going to be like at 3 o'clock. No, they could be at work and you could
Right.
be doing this.
Unless they want to schedule unless they want something scheduled where they want to talk to me later on, like right after it, and let me know their thoughts and what they're feeling and what have you.
Okay.
But otherwise, you don't need to know. A lot of times, like I have a client who goes on to Florida often, and she'll call me up or email me and say, "Can you send me some Reiki? Because I'm kind of feeling kind of punky." And I'll do, and she'll notice it when I'm doing it without even me letting her know when I'm doing it.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Like, what does she notice? What would somebody feel like doing a distance Reiki?
I think again, everybody's different. People might feel more energized. They might feel something change like within their bodies themselves as they're going about their daily routines. Some will sleep better. Well, most people sleep better.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it's that they may even feel a little bit better, right away as well.
Yeah. Do you get Reiki? Do you have a Reiki practice you go to?
Not in the past 2 months.
Okay. Right.
Yeah, I do.
But
I did.
normally
Yeah,
you do,
I do.
Yeah.
I actually had one scheduled right at that cusp with a colleague of mine, and we do exchange. So I'll Reiki her, she'll Reiki me.
Yeah.
And it was right at the cusp, and we were going to do it, and then her friends are telling her that's going to get really bad and blah blah blah. And so she says, "All right, we have to cancel it."
Yeah.
Which is kind of too bad because
It's too bad.
I kind of needed it before all
I know.
this.
Yeah. I bet.
But when I do my meditations at nighttime, and as I do the Reiki, I also receive Reiki at the same time.
Well, is there some sort of advice or a routine that you could tell us now to listeners that maybe they're scared, their anxiety levels through the roof, they don't know what the future's going to bring. Is there something they can do to sort of help ease that a little bit that you can tell us?
Yes, there's a lot that they could do. First thing they could do is turn off their TV. No, seriously, turn off their TV, stop watching the news, stop reading it, stop believing in it. Because again, all that media is negativity. It's scare tactics is really what it is, and that's what they want. That's where the government wants you to be. So to just doing that in itself is a huge deal. And then turn that all around and start thinking positive. Start thinking good thoughts. Start doing positive things. Change your mindset. And that's what that's what I've been doing all along, and even before that. And people just don't get it. Because they don't understand. Sorry, because they don't understand that a positive mindset will get you a lot further than a mask and gloves.
I think
6 feet apart.
I think a positive mindset is big, and you always hear about that, like change your mindset on things. And when you're working all the time, sometimes it's hard to like because it takes effort, right? You have to sort of stop and reflect and,
Right.
what's your mindset now? What do you want it to be? Because I've done this, but now I think it's really important for people maybe to use this time appropriately and
Right.
take an hour or whatever a day, whatever time you think you need, and think about what that better mindset would be for you. Because everybody can probably have a little bit of a better mindset.
Right.
Even if you're really good already, you can always improve.
Well, having a positive mindset, you don't have to necessarily take time to do that. If you're working and you're doing something that you're doing, that you like doing or enjoy doing, that's being positive because you're still receiving positive effects from it. If you're listening to your favorite music or singing or whatever, that's positivity. So you don't have to take time out to do that. It's
I see. Yeah.
you see what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
So
yeah,
that
simple things, I guess.
right.
Yeah, I was more of like change the change the way you change the way you do things on a day-to-day basis or whatever.
Well, that too.
I was a little bit more going a little bit more
Yeah.
deep, but I think just simple things like that. Yeah. Do you like listening to music? Well, then listen to music music more.
Exactly. Turn out
those
the
kind of
TV and
things.
turn on your radio. And meditating is always good. Even if you're not a huge on meditating or don't know how to do it, you don't have to sit there and om in quiet silence. There's a few good apps out there that have several thousand different types of meditation, lasting from anywhere from a minute to a couple of hours. So if you don't have an hour to meditate or even a half hour to meditate, find something that will take, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. It doesn't really take that much. So, and again, that's more positive and that gets you relaxed and keeps your mind off of what you shouldn't be, all the negative.
Yeah, all the negative. Yeah, get your mind off that negative. I think that's key.
Yeah.
And that's just true for before COVID,
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So what are your plans for the future going forward with an infinite abundance? Do you have any sort of long-term goals, plans, that kind of thing you want to share with us? Any
I do.
excitement? Yeah.
No, I do.
Yeah, cool.
Getting back to hands-on,
Yeah.
and beefing that a bit. I'd like to have a nice full schedule, helping people. And I think that with this, I think more people are like we talked about earlier, they're more in tune to their body and they're looking for healthier options. So just promoting it more, I think it's gonna get people out there. So, and hopefully they'll keep me busy. And I'd like to work with those who have autoimmune disorders and stress, and a lot of people out there who have that. So once they understand that they want the help and they need the help and they're willing to do it in a more healthy fashion, that's a good way of going. I'm planning on doing some workshops, some mastermind groups, which will help people as well. And again, my goal is getting holistic and alternative care out into the mainstream.
Yeah, I think it's important. I think holistic care is well, modern medicine is amazing, right? What they can do, obviously, but I think just like anything, it's good to have a nice mixture,
Right.
Because there are going to come times when you're going to need modern medicine for something catastrophic.
Right. I agree.
Hopefully, you never will, but I think in the meantime, if the more we can do holistically, the better off everybody's going to be. Not just for your own body, but I think also just for the environment in general.
I agree.
I think that's important. This is cool, Len. I'm really
Yeah.
glad you stopped by. We talked
Yeah,
about
me
a whole
too.
bunch of different things today, which is good stuff. How if somebody's interested in getting a Reiki session, whether it be distant or after this clears,
right.
hands-on, how can they get a hold of you?
They could give me a call at 860-593-5257, which is my cell phone number. Or they could email me at infiniteabundance@gmail.com. They could go to my website, and get in touch with me through that as well.
Which is an
Abundance,
infiniteabundance.com.
LLC.com.
LLC.com. An infiniteabundance, LLC.com. Yeah, guys, go check it out. I was looking at it today, and there's a wealth of stuff on there, a really interesting history that Len has had and how he got to where he is today. So it's very, very cool to have you on the show.
Thank you.
So thank you so much. I know this was last minute. What did I call you yesterday? It's like, hey, you
Yeah,
want to be on the
that's
show?
cool. Call me on a holiday.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was like, let's do it. And you're like, yeah, let's do it. And I said, okay. So we did it. So again, thank you so much for coming by today and doing our distant kind of,
Yep.
you know, what do you call what do I call it? Physical distancing.
Yeah,
Podcast.
I don't get that term, but whatever.
Yeah. I don't like the social As I said, you know, I think social distancing is the wrong term because I think we want to reach out to each other socially, and I think we can do that by the telephone or computer, whatever I think it's physically we can't be close right now. So I think physical distancing is a lot more appropriate than social. I don't think we want to be socially distant. I think we want to be socially very close to each other.
Because there is no social and distance.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, that's true too.
It's like, hey, Dave, it's like.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not social. That's
No, that's not
that's
social.
distancing.
Yeah, that's
It's
distancing.
it's uncomfortable. I mean, I go into stores now, not to go much further, but even doing my part-time job, I go into stores and it's really, really uncomfortable. Just people in their mindsets at this point is like, don't look at me, don't touch me, don't get near me.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, so it's really uncomfortable going into now.
I went to a store, local grocery store, and I walked up, and the woman's like, "Oh, there's a line." I didn't see the line. I was like, "Okay, no problem." So I go, and we're all like 6 feet or so apart. So I go. I was about maybe 10 feet away from the lady in front of me. So another guy comes up, and he's full on mask and gloves and stuff, and then he stands like 2 feet behind me. I said, "Bro, what are you doing?" Like, you got all your protective stuff on, but why are you standing so close?
Right.
I just found that a little bit ironic. I thought that was kind of funny. But, no, it is interesting going to the stores and, some people are full on masks and gloves and things. Other people are just in and out and getting their stuff. And again, I'm one of those people that I get in, I get what I need and I get out as fast as I can and go home, wash my hands.
That's it.
And that's what I do.
I
so
do
far.
I do the same thing. I don't glove or mask because I feel that you receive and you give off more germs than having without. So when I go in, my mouth is closed. Fortunately, I don't have to communicate with really anybody during my job or during my work or even when I'm shopping.
Right.
Unless I'm talking to myself.
Yeah.
But even then, my mouth is closed and I'm breathing through my nose.
Yeah.
I always before I leave the house, I always moisten my nostrils with ointment to keep my mucous membranes moist. Because that's what their respiratory goes through. It starts at the nose. So if your membranes are dry and not there,
Right.
that's where the disease attaches to. So
Gotcha.
I always
Gotcha.
keep it moist.
What do you use?
I use
Like an oil or something?
An ointment through doTERRA called CorrectX.
Oh, okay.
But you could really probably use anything as long as it's an ointment type based.
Yeah. Yeah. Gotcha. Yeah. And so hopefully
I'm in and out.
Yeah, get in and out. Yeah, that's another thing. I wonder if grocery stores are going to change the way they do business too.
Oh, yeah.
Is it going to be more delivery? I bet you people are going to be not going to the store regularly for a while till this really. But chances of this coming back again in the fall are probably pretty high, I would think. And it's not going to go away and then it's never going to come back again. I doubt that, but hopefully it'll stay away enough that we don't have to shut down again.
Yeah.
'Cause that's a real drag.
Well, hopefully people could just stop using all these wipes and these toxic chemicals. Their immune system will at least build up to this.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people that say they think they already had it. Like I remember back in November, December, I went to the doctor, I had this flu thing, and they didn't know what it was, tested negative for flu, strep, and the stuff. I had chills and whatever it was, symptoms, and I'm good now. They didn't know what it was.
Right.
So I was like, I wonder if that was,
It could have been.
who
Could
knows?
have
I mean, we don't know.
Right.
It's
I mean, our
possible.
bodies have millions of germs in them.
Yeah.
Millions,
Yeah,
billions.
they do.
And our body does its job and releases them when need be, unless we're immunocompromised. And so using all these, really these toxic cleaners and all that stuff is doing yourself a disservice because you're not allowing your immune system to work.
It's
properly.
amazing, though, how incredible the human body is with fighting off stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's really amazing. We wouldn't have made it as a human species as far if the body didn't have some sort of defense mechanism against different germs. Because it's only, I mean, modern medicine really isn't all that old.
It's
I mean,
not.
all these drugs and
not.
things. I mean, we made it pretty far with just using ointments and herbs and tea and whatnot. You know, and just staying healthy. Of course, our life expectancy is a lot more now. It's not 45 years old anymore,
Right.
but no, it's pretty amazing that you know, a kid can get sick and have 101 fever, but then, you know, a week later he's good. He's out running, riding his bicycle. It's just amazing how the body does what it does, fights off these infections and viruses, knows what to do all by itself, and gets it done.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
it's pretty incredible.
Exactly.
It really is amazing. So we just can't grow limbs back if they get cut off, which is a bummer.
Yep.
Maybe sometime with, what is that, stem cells, right? That's what they're talking about?
Yeah.
Who knows? I don't know. Anyway, on that note,
Cool.
very cool. Len, thanks again so much for
Yeah,
stopping
thank
by, for Behind the Brand. Folks, usually this is posted on Mondays, but it's not going to happen today, so you'll probably listen to this on a Tuesday. But Len Diana from An Infinite Abundance, check them out, aninfiniteabundance.com, An Infinite Abundance LLC.com.
There you go.
Thanks, everybody. See you, Len.